What's up, guys? Matt here, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a series. This is going to be the first part of 10. It's going to be my top 10 favorite Sonic games leading up to this point. Some of this you may agree with, some you may not, and some I might have missed or whatever, but it's just my personal take on this. The reason I wanted to do this is because with the new release of Sonic Frontiers at the end of this year, as it still stands, it's going to be releasing at the end of this year. I figured it'd be kind of cool to just kind of look back at all the games that I've played over the years up until this point. Now, keep in mind, for me personally, I've grown up with the Sonic games. I remember back in the day when the Genesis was bundled with Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one anyways, and that was my introduction to playing Sonic the Hedgehog. I was, 5 years old or something like that back in the day, and I remember playing that, and it was the rest was history, man. I love the Sonic games going forward. So like I said, this is going to be part 1 of 10. I figured I'd split it into different videos just to make this a little bit easier instead of having one big video, like, an hour plus long video. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You're probably thinking, like, that I'm going to mention Sonic the Hedgehog, the first Sonic the Hedgehog, because that's where it all began, for me anyways. Not necessarily. And it's not to say that Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, was a bad game or anything like that. I enjoyed it. But today, the first one that I want to go over is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis. Now, this was definitely an improvement over the first one. Like, the visual look of the game, I think the style was a lot better in Sonic 2. We had some other animations in play here, like when you're on the ledge of wherever, like on a platform, floating platform or whatever. There's like 3 different ones depending on how far on the edge you are with Sonic. I think Tails only had like 1. The running animation was improved, and I think it looked a little bit better. Now, the other big part of this game was, as far as the visual look, with the main stages, you had the stages of when you run through to get the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds, there are 7 of them, as you know. The Emeralds actually do have a purpose in this game as opposed to the first one. I think the level design is much better than the first game, so definitely improved on that one. And I remember back in the day, one of the things that me and my dad actually discovered, he actually found it before I did. He just randomly, because we used to rent the game before my parents actually bought it for me, but he discovered, and I was so amazed by this, but one of the new features of this game was the inclusion of the spin dash. Now, that was a big deal, and I still think it really works well with this game going forward. The gameplay itself is so much faster than it was in the first game, and clearly with some of these games like Chemical Plant is a good example of that one. I mean, even all the other ones too. You look at like the first stage, you look at, I mean, just about every stage is pretty quick. But I would say, I would definitely say Chemical Plant is a very fast-paced stage. So the fact that the gameplay itself is just faster paced than the original one was, that was a step up in the right direction. The stages themselves, basically there's 2 stages as opposed to 3, not counting one of the stages, which I believe was a Metropolis Zone. So that's the only one in the game that has 3 stages. I don't know why it has 3 stages. I don't know why they felt the need to do that, but it's there. But every other stage there in the game is only 2 stages. There are actually more stages in this game than there are in the first one, so that's also an improvement right there as well. Also, going back to what I said with the Chaos Emeralds, when you collect them in this game versus the first one, it has a purpose, because this was the one that introduced us to Super Sonic, and that was a big deal, I thought. I never knew that you would actually be able to transform until one day, going back when I was a kid, that I collected all 7, and then just when I had 50 rings or more, and then I made that first jump, because you can't actually control it. That's the one thing that kind of sucks about it, is that like the second that you jump, he turns into Supersonic instantly. You can't just like press jump again after you've done a jump to activate it on your own. It just automatically does it. You have no control over it. So that's kind of shitty, but the fact that it was introduced into this game at all, supersonic, was just really cool. Once you are supersonic, you just fly through the stages. You're flying through the stages much faster. You can jump a lot higher. You're invincible the whole time unless you fall off a platform or something like that, or drown underwater, or whatever the case may be. It's basically an all-round just better game than the first one was. And the other thing I almost forgot too was that this had a two-player versus, basically racing through all the different stages. You know, you play as Sonic and you play as Tails, which, by the way, was Tails' first debut. Like, that was the first time we got to see a different character other than Sonic, because at first it was just Sonic against Robotnik, or Eggman in this case. It was just that from the first game. Now we've got Tails in the mix here, so there's a two-player mode for that, and it's not bad. The stages, you can tell that it's like stretched out because it's a split screen. I don't know if they really thought about that. Maybe it was like a last-minute decision that they put that in there, but who knows? Like, either way, it's still a fun little thing on the side for two players to just kind of race against each other and in all the different stages in the game. So that's a big plus right there as well. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was improved in so many ways. It was probably one of the best Sonic games on the Genesis, save for like Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles, which, spoiler alert, we'll get into that one on the next video. So a little something for you guys to look forward to. But Sonic 2 just did so much more than the first game ever did, and it improved in so many ways, gameplay-wise, controls, everything like that was just perfect. It was probably one of the, like I said, it was one of the best Sonic games on there for the Genesis. Now, I know that this game here, particularly Sonic 2, along with some of the other games, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic CD, and the first one too, those games actually did come back recently through Sonic Origins. Basically, there's a lot of new little features within that game. I have heard that there's been a lot of updates with it recently. I don't know if it's better for it, but I know I haven't got those yet, but I'm just saying that's another way you can play this game. You can play the original game on original hardware. You can play this through emulation. You can play this through different Genesis compilations. Like, there was one on PS3 and 360. There's one on the Switch. I believe there's on the PS4 and Xbox One consoles. And then on PC, you can get that on Steam. So there's a bunch of ways to play this, and mobile games as well. Like, you know, you can get all the Sonic games that were on the Genesis on your phone. It kind of sucks because there's a lot of different ads on there. So, like, yeah, you get it for free, but you're just seeing a ton of different ads. I don't know what the cost of it is to just purchase it so you don't have those. I would imagine it's like maybe a couple bucks, but I'm not too familiar with that. I don't do any mobile gaming of any kind, but I just know it's there. So, yeah, this game, wildly successful on the Genesis. And, oh, speaking of which, you can actually play this on the Sega Genesis Mini if you have that console. So that's another one to look out for. Aside from that, yeah, this is a great game. I highly recommend it if you haven't played this, to all the youngins out there. If you haven't played this, you know, like I said, there's the option of getting the Sonic Origins collection, but there's so many other ways to play the original itself. But I will say that if you are going to play this game, at least play the first Sonic the Hedgehog first, because if you play this game and don't go back to the first, or if you play this game and go back to the first one, you're not going to have as much fun. I almost promise you, you should more than likely start from the first and then work your way to the second. Or if it doesn't bother you either way, but I just personally think that looking back on it, because Sonic 2 was so good, going back to the first one is pretty hard to do. Like, even me personally, like, I can't really go back to the first one. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I played the first Sonic the Hedgehog, to be quite honest with you, because again, I played it years ago when I was a kid and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But Sonic 2 just improved in so many ways. I can't say it enough. So definitely check that out first, even if you only play it for a little bit before jumping into Sonic 2, because I promise you, when you play Sonic 2, you're not going to want to go back to Sonic 1. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's the end of this first part here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the videos that I make in this little series. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.